What's up, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to this POV review by auto.nl. My name is Max, and today you join us in Spain. We are near Barcelona, near the Castelloli track, which is just in the hills over there. And we've been invited by Audi to come and check out the all-new RSQ8 Performance, which is a new model for the Q8 lineup, similar to the RS6 and RS7 Performance. Of course, this is the top dog, and yeah, it is pretty insane. I'm going to show you around it today. I'll show you all the new stuff on the exterior, the interior. After that, we'll take it for a drive on this beautiful road running up there, which is just nuts. We've been here, I don't know, 40 minutes, and we've seen two cars, so that is really cool. We'll show you some track driving at the Castelloli track as well. And yeah, so we've got a packed review today. Let's get started with the exterior, because the RSQ8 gets a couple updates, mainly of course bumpers, headlights, rear lights, stuff like that, but also trim for the new performance model. Now in some markets, US, the Netherlands, they will only sell the performance model, so the top model. In other markets you also have the regular RSQ8 available with 600 horsepower. This is 640, and you get some cool stuff on the performance. So let's have a look at that. Number one, you get this trim all around the car, and you can choose if you want to have that in carbon fiber. Normally the performance has all this trim in a sort of dark gray, and that goes for the mirrors and the rear bumper or the rear trunk parts as well. And but you can choose to have it in this matte carbon fiber, which is very nice, especially combined with this silver. I think it's a really good match. Those lines are just so pronounced in that silver. Really love that. And these massive 23-inch wheels, also specific to the performance. They are optional. These are forged lightweight wheels, and it saves 5 kilos per wheel, so 20 kilos in total. So yeah, that is going to be a big difference. Only available on the performance. Behind that, carbon ceramic brakes, massive 440mm discs, as you can see. That is just so huge. They come as standard on the performance model, but you also have a Dynamic Plus package, which they are also incorporated in for the normal RSQ8. So that's with the top speed. There are a few different packages available. You also have a package which includes the sport rear differential and the anti-roll control. So active electromechanical active roll stabilization, which also works really well. We've got air suspension that has been tweaked for the RSQ8. And of course it varies in ride height with the different driving modes. Beautiful matte carbon mirror caps. And then what kind of tire sizes are we working with here? So these are Pirelli P0s, and this is a 295. That's not even that wide. 295 at the rear and the 295 at the front as well. No, that's not that wide actually. At the rear we've got more carbon trim, so you can see all this bumper part here, this lower bumper part, in this matte carbon fiber. That would be in gray normally. So that part, also this part, included in that package. You can also choose to have it in high gloss black. Well, I think this is cool. I like the contrast between the silver, the carbon, the black down here as well. I like that. New badging, of course, where the RS or the S has been detached from the red square. And they also have new digital lights, which you can choose basically the light signature. So yeah, we can show some B-roll of what they look like. The front and the rear lights have different variations, and there's one that's specific to the performance. What else? I think that kind of covers the exterior. It's just a regular facelift, bumpers, lights, stuff like that. But the fact that you have this performance version available now, and you can actually see, I mean, those wheels, they fit the car so well. And I think it's a handsome car anyway. So let's have a look at the engine. 4-liter V8 bi-turbo. So As I said, the RSQ8 has 600 horsepower, 800 newton meters of torque. The performance gets 640 horsepower and 850 newton meters. So that means that your 0 to 100 goes from 3.8 to 3.6. Top speed 250 to 80 or 305. 305 only available in combination with the ceramic brakes, which is very, very smart. Love that. So they got this 640, this extra boost of 10 horsepower over the RS6 performance, because they have a new highly optimized exhaust system, and it's also a little bit lighter, 1 kilo lighter, but also the flow is better. And yeah, apparently that's where the 10 horsepower comes from, and it actually also sounds very, very good. It is pretty insane for an OPF car. This is like a proper old school V8 sound. So yeah, really happy with that. That is just awesome. So interior, also a couple changes and a couple things that you get with the performance. So you can have different color packages for the interior. This has red, so you have this red stitching and also a little bit of a red color in that perforation, so you can see the color a little bit better. You can have red, gray or blue, and blue is only available on the performance, so that is pretty cool. Also this dark aluminium brushed trim, also only available on the performance. You get an Alcantara steering wheel, Alcantara here on the gear lever and on the armrest, and we've got some new dials as well. New instrument cluster design with all these white versions. We also have some b-roll of the different versions. It looks very good actually. And still, this interior is great, because even though I'm not a big fan of the all touch system, it just doesn't work that well on the go, and you do have to find things in there. So I have to turn off the lane keep assist and the traffic sign speed warning every time. But this is a little bit of a small button when you're on the go. Works fine now. And then you have your climate down here, but the rest feels kind of old school SUV, because you have this high dash, this high center tunnel. Yeah, it works really well. Alrighty, so here we go. We've got this amazing road ahead, which we're going to enjoy. Now, this is the thing about this car. It was great pre-facelift, but by just dialing everything up 10 notches in this performance version, you can actually enjoy this big of a car, this heavy. It's like 2.5 tons almost. It's absolutely massive. And it just goes up this mountain road like a freaking goat. It is insane. So you have that active anti-roll stabilization that has little motors that can connect and disconnect the two halves. So that means now it's like, oh, it's a really stiff, firm car that doesn't flex a lot. And then when you go to comfort mode, the car kind of chills out. Those two halves disconnect, and then you have a very comfortable cruiser with which you can take your kids to football practice or whatever. But then, jeez Louise, when you get on a crazy road like this, it actually handles it. It is ridiculous. And then you have these massive 440mm carbon discs to slow you down, 10 pistons at the front. It is ridiculous. It really is. This actually might be like one of the biggest improvements and developments in cars in general. The fact that you can do this now with a car of this size and weight, yeah, it just doesn't make sense. So the only sort of negative I have about this is that you get thrown around the car quite a bit, and the seats just aren't supportive enough. You could use a lot more side support, and you know, the bolstering could be a little bit higher. just a bit deeper of a seat, but you know, that's a detail. They do have a new sports seat, which Martijn had in that S5 that we drove recently, which was a lot better than this. It's not great, but yeah, you just have to hold on for dear life, because the car will throw you around. It's just, it grips so incredibly well. Oh man, it's kind of intense. So 3.6 seconds to 100, as I said. We also did a 100 to 200 measurement at the Castelloli track, and I did an 8.5 second run, which is actually very good. That's very impressive. It's faster than Lamborghini Urus. It's faster than, it's almost a second faster than the pre-facelift RSQ8. So it's definitely delivering on that front. Look at this road. What is up with this road? I mean, it's like someone decided to put like a rally stage here on the side of the highway. It's so crazy. And we also measured the 0 to 100. As I said, it's supposed to do 3.6. We did 3.5. And as I said, it just, the sound, I don't understand how they've done this, because it sounds incredible. Let's just open the window as well. Listen to that. That is proper V8 sound. That's not being pumped through the speakers. Incredible. So when you drive like this in normal mode and just regular drive, the exhaust is always there, so it doesn't quiet down as much as some people might like, but there is an optional sports exhaust available, and I think we have that today. So yeah, it might be a little bit quieter as standard, but I quite like the V8 rumble. The car feels sort of old school in all the right ways, right? It feels high-tech in the way that it connects those anti-roll bars, and that you have such a, looking for this button, you have such a crazy handling car, so it feels really modern in that sense. But then this V8 sound feels proper old school. Those burbles as well, I mean, that is amazing. Now, of course, we've got quattro all-wheel drive, and it sends 60% to the rear and 40% to the front, you know, normally speaking. But when it detects slip on any of the wheels, then it sends up to 85% to the rear and up to 70% to the front. And that is to sort of mitigate understeer. So as I said, we also went to the Castelloli track, which is a really cool track with some undulations, some elevations, and also a crossover to experience this car on the track. And beforehand I was kind of skeptical, because I thought, yeah, what are you going to do with an RSQ8 on the track? I'm sure it's good, but it's never going to be excellent. But I have to say, I was quite impressed with the way it stays super flat. Of course, the tires and the brakes, they do have their work cut out for them, and those are the two things that go first. But I have to say, it's quite impressive. So by refreshing and dialing up the RSQ8, I have to say, Audi's been on a roll recently. They've done this so well, and they've kind of added some drama to a car that could use it. It handles really well. I think it's super handsome, especially in this silver. I love it. There's also a new Shakir Gold, Ascari Blue, and Chili Red. New colors available. But it is a very, very interesting car, and I think I prefer it over the other performance SUVs because, like I said, it feels a bit old school because you have that proper V8 sound. It also, it's not as shouty and as like, look at me, as a Lamborghini Urus. So yeah, kind of a killer package here, and I really like what they've done with the performance. They definitely improved it, and I look forward to driving it in Germany on the Autobahn, where we can test the top speed, 305 kilometers an hour. That is also proper. Oh, but this, very, very impressive. This car on this road, I mean, you wouldn't think it would work this well, but yeah, crazy. And these roads, holy moly, insane. So that's it for this review. Hope you enjoyed it. You can subscribe by clicking the big button in the middle. You can also check out this video, this playlist, and I'll see you at the next one. Bye.